Thank you. First, a few notes on the agenda and some housekeeping. We are going to start off by setting the stage for the new tool before moving into more about the tool itself. We will be highlighting key features, walking you through some demos, and then you'll get information on how you can access the new Brand Hub. We will end with an opportunity for you to ask questions. I would ask that you hold all of your questions until the end, either jot them down or you could submit them during the presentation using the chat function, and we will address all the questions at the end. You also will be able to raise your hand and ask your question out loud at the end if you prefer. The goal of this webinar is to give you an overview of this new tool and give you plenty of time to ask questions. We may not use the full hour if there aren't very many questions. If you did attend the webinar hosted by FSC International in early April, some of this information will likely be familiar. But now that you either already have access to this tool or will be given access shortly, we hope that this information is helpful as you start to play around with this new tool. Setting the stage. The Brand Hub aims to streamline your communication efforts by utilizing technology. The Brand Hub provides you with tools to help simplify the process of communicating about FSC, whether that be through the easy-to-use label generator, customizable assets for social media, in-store signage, and more, to global campaigns. It's a tool that enhances the value of FSC by making it easier and faster and more impactful to use the FSC brand in your labeling and promotion. By providing assets and guidelines to help your communication efforts, this tool helps ensure credibility and consistency, and the Brand Hub ensures that our license holders have the tools they need to confidently showcase their commitment, helping to build trust, drive demand, and ultimately create lasting impact for forests. So let's get into the solution itself, the FSC Brand Hub. The Brand Hub combines two existing platforms, the Trademark Portal and the Marketing Toolkit. While these tools have provided stakeholders with access to the FSC trademarks and various assets, many of you have probably experienced their limitations. To overcome these challenges, FSC embarked on a journey to harness key technologies, incorporate stakeholder feedback, and develop a new tool that is not only dynamic and engaging, but audience-centric, and a place where you can find curated designs and assets that are suited to your needs, all on a platform that is easy to navigate. To create the platform you'll see today, FSC focused on understanding what stakeholders truly need. We conducted interactive focus groups and in-depth interviews, engaging a diverse range of stakeholders, including certification bodies, license holders, and other key stakeholders throughout the process. Additionally, we performed a competitive analysis and a technology audit to ensure that the new tool meets high standards in usability and efficiency. We achieved all of this while keeping the user experience at the core of our work. It was important to keep in mind the various users of this platform, from certificate holders, project certificate holders, and promotional license holders to certification bodies and local FSC offices. The new Brand Hub incorporates 4 sections: trademark designs, assets, campaigns, and guidelines. The trademark design function consists of the label generator, which is only accessible to certificate holders, and the promotional design generator, which is accessible to all users. The new Brand Hub also includes a campaigns page where you can access various global campaigns. There are also customizable assets, guidelines, and new functions such as notifications, bookmarks, and more. We'll get into all of these features in just a moment. There are assets tailored to different audiences like forest management and chain of custody certificate holders and promotional license holders. You can see examples here from forest signage to social media assets and in-store signage. Additionally, there are assets tailored to project certificate holders like building signage, and then general assets for all license holders to use. Okay, now let's get into the actual brand hub and see it in action. So we have a few videos we'll be going through which highlight the key features of the new brand hub, but I want to note that this is just barely scratching the surface. This is meant to show you some of those main features, how to use them and how to access them. But we encourage you when you get your access to play around with this tool yourself and really explore all of the different features it offers. So this is our improved and streamlined label generator, which makes labeling your products intuitive and easy. You can choose between using the quick version and the step-by-step version. What you're seeing here is the quick version where you can choose your options on the left sidebar, and then you'll see a live preview of your label. If you want to use the step-by-step version, you can access it by clicking that light green box at the bottom right hand of the screen. Some improvements to this include the multilingual labels, which now translate the label title, and you can choose multiple languages up to 4. You can also select the automatic trademark symbol and input the countries of distribution, and it will automatically select which trademark symbol to use. After you create your label, you can easily bookmark this by clicking that little flag icon on the right hand of the screen, so you can come back to your most used labels. Now, this we're seeing here is that step-by-step walkthrough I mentioned. So this is for if you need a little bit of extra explanation and support along the way while you configure your label. This walks you through each element that you choose for your label, and it provides a little bit of information to help you make your choice. At the end is where you will see a preview of your label, and you can download the file from there. Now we're looking at the example of the Forest for All Forever promotional generator. There's also a generator that uses just the FSC logo if you prefer that. You can see here that you can switch between languages with ease, and your license code and the FSC web address are already included to help you get started. Again, there is a step-by-step version of this generator available. You can access it by clicking that little switch button on the bottom right-hand side. Again, any designs you create here, you can bookmark and easily come back to. Now we are looking at the assets page where you can find a variety of designs and assets, both ready to use and customizable. Each user will get a curated selection of assets which fits their needs, and you can utilize some of these filters by choosing customizable or ready to use. And then the advanced filters help you find exactly what you're looking for, depending on where you want to use it, geography, different things like that. Here you can see just how easy it is to customize an asset. You can select your color theme and logo preference. You can choose a social media channel and it will automatically resize the design. You can select the language that you want for your asset, and you can even upload your own images to use within the asset. Again, similarly with the other generators, you can choose to use the manual trademark symbol selector, or you can use the automatic function where you would put in your countries and it would automatically select the correct trademark symbol to be used. While you're making all of these changes, you'll see that live preview on the right-hand side showing you what it looks like. Also, your license code is integrated, so it will automatically appear on these designs. Here's just a quick look at the new page for FSC campaigns. Here you can see we're highlighting Forest Week, which is taking place in September. So this is the page that you'll go to access any global FSC campaigns. Our aim was to build an intuitive platform which you can easily dive into and start using immediately. However, if the amount of features and functionalities is looking a little intimidating, don't worry. This is where the guidelines section comes into support. There are a variety of tutorials and other important resources, including the trademark standard, that you can find there. There is also a chat bot that you're seeing here that can answer key questions on functionalities and other common questions. This tool is not meant to be something that you just log into once and then never come back to, but rather something you'll want to come back to regularly. Everything that you have seen here so far are features that are available in this initial launch, but there are other areas of development that are in progress and will be updated soon. So make sure that you turn on your notifications within the settings of your Brand Hub account so that you don't miss out on any of the updates. One thing to note as well, most of the photography that you've seen in this presentation so far will be available for your use on the Brand Hub. So again, this is just the start of the tool. We are nowhere near the finish line. Now, how can you get started using this new platform? So users will be onboarded across 4 separate waves or phases. I have highlighted here the relevant groups for this audience. So promotional license holders across all regions have already been onboarded, as well as certificate holders in Europe and Africa. Starting today, certificate holders in the Americas will start being onboarded. And then finally, early next week, certificate holders in Australia and Asia will be onboarded. So users with existing access to the trademark portal and the marketing toolkit will get invited to onboard to the Brand Hub, and this will happen via an invitation email sent from notification@fsc.org. There are 2 scenarios depending on if you have an FSC Connect account or not for what email you would get. If you already have an FSC Connect account, which is worth noting that is likely different from your trademark portal login, it's going to be a different credential. If you already have that account, you will receive the Welcome to the Brand Hub onboarding email. If you do not already have an FSC Connect account, you will receive an email invitation to activate your Connect account. Once activated, then you will receive the Welcome to the Brand Hub onboarding email. So what do you need to do? Just mark your calendars, make sure that you're checking your inbox and your spam. You can even permission notification@fsc.org to make sure that any emails coming from that account are not flagged as spam or junk. If you have not received an email by the onboarding, once the onboarding timeline is over, please check with your certification body if you're a certificate holder or your trademark service provider if you are a promotional license holder. That would be FSC US in that case, and we can help make sure that you have the proper permissions in place. One other thing I want to note about the transition, for a period of time, the Brand Hub will be running in parallel with the trademark portal and the marketing toolkit to make that transition smooth. One thing that's important to note that I have a feeling we would maybe get a question on is the certificate watch function that is currently on the trademark portal. You may have seen that I did not give an overview of that as we were doing the demonstration. That is because it is not a function that is currently available on the Brand Hub, but it is one of those new features that is currently being worked on. So in the near future, it will be transferred over to the Brand Hub, but as of now, it is still on the trademark portal and will still be able to be accessed on the trademark portal. So to summarize, by May 7th, everybody, all license holders should be onboarded to this Brand Hub. Again, if for whatever reason you're not receiving that email, please reach out to either your certification body or your local FSC office for help. I've got my email listed here, as well as our general trademark team's email. And then, of course, if you ever have issues on the tech side, issues with your login, you can email connect@fsc.org and they can help as well. So there were many parties involved in the creation of this new tool, and we want to make sure to give them a shout out from our development partners to the license holders and certification bodies who were involved, and the FSC network who all came together to make this tool what it is. And with that, that is all I have for you for the brief overview. I would love at this point to open it up for questions. Again, like I said, I wanted to spend most of this time giving you an opportunity to kind of take a look and ask any questions you may have. Many of you will already have access to this tool. And again, those who are certificate holders should be getting access today and tomorrow. So would love to open it up to questions. Kate, if you wouldn't mind letting us know if we've got any chat questions.
Doesn't look like any in the chat so far.
Great. Well, I'll give everyone just a minute. I know this was a pretty brief overview.
Oh, looks like we have one from Laura St. Peter. Are there assets geared towards promotion of verified impacts? If not, is that something that will roll out in the future?
That is a great question. I would need to double check if there's anything available right now. If not, I am confident that it would be rolled out in the future.
Okay. From Doug Patterson, how will
Mhm.
this work for groups and group members?
So groups and group members, that's a great question as well. Let me double check, Doug, on the back end for that. I would assume it works similarly to how the login would work for the trademark portal for group members. But I will need to double check on that piece and just make sure that I think what they could do is that I'm assuming each group member will be able to create an account and it will just use that license code will then be associated with all of the group members. That's my guess, but I will double check on that one.
Okay.
And I have it open now, Kate, too, so I can
Oh,
kind of
okay,
go
good.
through. So when will the trademark portal be retired? I don't have a date for when it's going to be retired. I can ask that as well. I think that it's not going to be for a little bit at least. I would think that we've got at least a few months that would be running in parallel. And we've made it very clear that in particular for the certificate watch piece, that it's very important that the trademark portal does not get retired until that certificate watch function is transferred over to the brand hub, because we want to make sure that people do not lose access to that. We know that that's a really crucial tool for a lot of license holders. And then how we access the recording of this session. So we will be sharing the recording after this meeting. So we will be putting it up on our YouTube channel where you can find recordings to many of our other webinars. So we will send that link out once it is live, and then you can go ahead and share that with anyone on your team. And can more than one email from an organization get access to the brand hub? Yes, more than one email can have access to the brand hub. If you would like, if you're a promotional license holder and you would like more access, you can reach out to your local FSC office, most likely FSC US in that case, Kate and myself. If you're a certificate holder, reach out to your certification body. And then we have a question around promotional materials generated with our license code. Can it be used publicly without additional certification body approval? No, you still need to get approval from your certification body anytime you're using the trademarks, unless you already have some sort of trademark use management system set up and in place. This, however, will streamline that process because these are materials that already meet our standards and our guidelines, so there should be no issues with approval. However, that does still need to go through the approval process. We have a question from a commercial printer. Can graphic designers access the logo generator easily? Will they need their own credentials? So access to this tool is only for members of the certified company or promotional license holder. So if you have external contractors, et cetera, they would not have access to this portal. Again, it's important to make sure that especially access to the label generator is limited to certificate holders and representatives of those certificate holders. So you would, at that point, likely need to provide them, like you would now provide them with that label that you've downloaded from the portal. These are all great questions. Keep them coming. And then I think also you can, hopefully you can raise your hand as well if you would like to ask any questions live.
Hi, Maggie. David here.
Hi,
I don't
David.
I don't have any questions, but this looks like an amazing tool. Excited to get started on it. Um, but yeah, just great job. Really looking forward to digging in.
Thank you, David. I appreciate that. Yeah, we are very excited about this tool. We hope that it is addressing a lot of the challenges that our license holders have encountered. I think the language piece for the label in particular is something that I'm very excited about. I know we've had a lot of license holders who have struggled with, if you sell into Canada and having the requirement of having French on the label and having that be just a little bit challenging. So this will hopefully streamline that quite a bit.
Yeah, that's a great feature.
Wonderful. Well, I'll give everyone just a couple more seconds to think of any questions. And then I've got one final slide for you. Of course, if you think of a question after this webinar, feel free to reach out. And again, at the end of this, I'll make sure that our contact information is pulled up again. Okay, so before I let you go, I wanted to highlight a few things coming up at FSC US. We have another webinar that is relevant to this audience that is happening next Wednesday. We will be going over the FSC trademark standard revision and the public consultation process. So mark your calendars. We will be sending an invite with RSVP details following this webinar. You can also scan the QR code that I put up here to register for that webinar directly. I really encourage everyone who has attended this webinar to attend that. This is your opportunity to take a look at the revised trademark standard, provide your comments and feedback. It's a really important piece of the FSC system and how we work is these public consultations. And it's just going to benefit you to be able to take a look and provide your feedback on the trademark standard. It is going to impact everybody, whether you're a certificate holder or a promotional license holder. And then the last piece is I'm excited to announce the FSC US's annual conference, Stewardship in Action 2025, will be taking place in September in St. Louis, Missouri. More information will be coming later this month for that, so make sure to be on the lookout. And if you want to just bookmark these dates here, put them in your calendar, we would love to see you there. Okay, and then as promised, here is our contact information. Kate and I on the marketing and promotional licensing side, I have listed out a couple other of my colleagues, Jenna, who is our expert on EUDR and chain of custody, and then Tom, who works on the forest management side. So please feel free to reach out to any of us at any time with comments or questions, whether it be about the Brand Hub or anything about your work with FSC. We are always happy to help. So thank you so much for attending. We're giving you guys some time back in your day. I hope you appreciate that. And like I said, we will make sure to have this webinar available so you can reference back, kind of see these walkthroughs. And if you're playing around with the tool and you find, if you have any questions or comments on things that would be helpful to have in, future iterations of it, please let us know. Like I said, we have many things in the works, so we're always excited to hear your feedback. Okay. Thanks, everyone. I appreciate
Thank
it.
you.